Hello, everyone. I'm doing a live interview today, not the usual Zoom, and I'm very happy to say that I'm at the Biltwell. Would you consider this the HQ, even though there's two locations?
Yeah, this is our headquarters.
Okay, cool. So I'm here with Otto, otherwise known as Mike Deutsch. So I have two questions. First of all, are you a big Simpsons fan? And did you used to drive a bus? How did you get that name? And your last name, Deutsch, it means German. So talk to me about your name.
Well, first off, good job referencing The Simpsons.
Thank you.
And arguably the best show ever.
Amen.
I'm a Simpsons fan. I will never be as cool as Otto who rides the bus.
You have the
He set the
name.
bar very, very high. I got the nickname Otto because I used to have a blog called Blotto Pies, and my God-given name, my slave name is Michael Deutsch, and but man, I know so many Mikes that are just slangs and sluts, and I started being called Blotto, and then kind of started to go by the pen name Otto Bob Blotto. I would write some articles for the magazine and stuff, and again, there's a lot of Mikes, maybe not all of them are liars and sluts, but a lot of them are. And I just started to go by Otto,
Okay,
and so Otto's kind of the name that has stuck with me.
Okay.
Yeah, Deutsch is German for German, and on my dad's side, they're all dairy farmers from Minnesota that immigrated here from Germany, which I guess was a thing.
Okay. And I guess, was that last name big in Germany then? Because would you call yourself
Yeah,
just German
yeah.
in that language?
I don't know if it was. I don't know. I don't know. I imagine it was. There was a lot of names, but it seems like an odd one. Only when I go to Germany, usually do they pronounce it right, or do they appreciate it,
Or like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's just fake, Usually, my first, I have to be. Some people think I'm a smart aleck, and it's not by choice. It's because the first day of school, the teacher would mispronounce my last name, and either I had to snap on her, or the kids were gonna laugh at me. So I was like, anyway, the first day of school, I was always in the principal's office.
Oh.
First day, many years. Oh, you're here again. What did you do? Oh, I was talking back. I wasn't really talking back. I just was correcting the teacher that she's dumb. I don't know how she's going to be my teacher for a year if she can't pronounce Deutsch. Anyway, it's a lot.
So your name has always been something for you, and now you have this nickname. So how long have you had this nickname for? Because you were telling me earlier when we were chatting, you've been into motorcycles for 15 years. So did it was that the genesis of your name then?
Yeah, I think that you're correct with that. I don't know what genesis means. That's a big
Like
word.
a beginning.
Yeah. But I had a blog. I sold a lot of motorcycle parts. I have Blotto tattoo right here.
Okay, cool.
I called it Blotto parts. Blotto means sauced and inebriated.
Okay.
It was kind of a reference to a past life. Anyway, so I go by Otto. So it was around the time I got into the motorcycle industry. Started writing some articles with my friend Lisa Albert, Top Call. She's a very interesting lady, and she's a good dot connector and been very helpful in my motorcycle career. She's kind of helped me meet some of the guys from Biltwell. Anyway, I started to go by to Blotto and shortened up to Otto.
Okay.
Now, kind of in the community.
And 15 years now in the industry. So what's the story and how you got involved with Biltwell and the company?
Well, Biltwell is founded in Temecula, California. That's where we are today, Temecula, California. We're still headquartered here, distributed out of this warehouse, our 30,000 square foot warehouse in Temecula. As I got more and more into motorcycles, I started to see this company around called Biltwell. I saw that they're in my local town. This is a small town now. It used to be smaller, even. So I said, I want to meet these guys from Biltwell. They look like they party a lot. I'm looking at their ads, and they do fun things. And so I started hanging out with Bill and the Goo, and I realized quickly that they party a little bit, but mostly they work really hard. They have a well-defined goal. They have a lot of good experience at building other people's brands, so they know, how to build something fun, a community. I think is what they've built, is a fun-having community. And they're going to work hard at it because they know what their other best options are, building somebody else's brand, maybe not having so much fun doing it, So they were pretty good, and they were at that sweet spot in their life when you're just old enough to reflect what's behind you, and what your options are, and where you're going. But you're not too old to where you don't have a lot of energy. There's that sweet spot. I think there are a lot of people, a lot of us, maybe 35 years old, 30, 35, when you start to see where you've been. Maybe you're twisting the knob a little bit, making some tweaks. Maybe it's not all the way. Maybe hopefully it's little ones. For me, I had to make big ones. But And then you start to realize, I only have so many years left on this earth, and I want to do something fun and meaningful and better. Right? The axe to the grindstone to make it happen.
Okay.
So those guys are doing it, and I fell in line with them. I liked that they worked hard. I never had fun working hard. I liked working hard in an industry where I had fun, in motorcycles and stuff. I love all motorcycles. I love dirt bikes. I love old Harleys. I love new Harleys. I like them all. I think for some of us, I grew up on BMX and skateboarding, and when you're a kid, you just want a bicycle that will go a little bit faster than the one you had.
That is true.
And when you get older, you realize, if you put a motor in it, it will go a little faster, and you don't have to pedal less.
Yeah.
And so, still to this day, it happened just the other day. I always have to riding your motorcycle, and you see little kids.
That's very true. That's very true.
You're like, oh man,
yeah.
this
One
is gonna
day.
ruin your life. One day, this is gonna ruin your life.
Drain your bank account, hurt your bones.
Yeah, in the best possible way.
Yeah.
In the best possible way. And without a doubt, that would happen to me. I grew up in Lake Elsinore, California, down the street, and my dad had motorcycles, Harleys and stuff. And my parents had rental properties, and I remember they rented one of our houses to a outlaw motorcycle club member. This guy's name was Gypsy, and we would go to Gypsy's, and he had killer bikes, killer cars. He little rattlesnakes in a cage. He was always trying to give me and my brother little guns, 22s and stuff like that. And I was like, I want to be like Gypsy. He's got one on. He got a lowered Volkswagen Bug. That's pretty cool. He's got a couple of motorcycles. Unlike my dad's, that actually ran. And I was like, so that was for me early influence here. Again, growing up BMX skateboarding, just always wanted to go a little bit faster, pedal a little bit less. You get to be the age where you could buy a motorcycle, maybe, for me, that's what, got to be where I could make my own decision. When I finally got a motorcycle, I was like, this is exactly what I want to do.
And it seems like it's a good fit, obviously, working here. So when you started here 9 years ago, was it?
That closer to 12.
12, okay, 12, right, you did say that. So 12 years ago, where did you start in the business here, and now where are you? What is your job position?
Okay, so always I bought, sold motorcycle parts.
Mm-hmm.
And when I met these guys, that's what I was doing. And they said, you're going to the swap meets, you're going to some of these events already. Do you think you could go to some of these events for Biltwell, in official Biltwell capacity? I said, yeah, I would love that, And so I started to go to some swap meets and stuff and selling their stuff at shows and things like that. And then, again, I had a blog, right before you were born. I had a motorcycle blog, and they said, you got, you got a little bit of chops, you can write some stuff, post a picture, help us out with this thing called Facebook. What the hell? Cool, Facebook, So I started doing that, and then and they said, we seem to be able to ride a motorcycle and not fall off it and crash too much. Like, why don't you go on some of these rides with us and help us out with some of that stuff, and then this new thing came up called Instagram. I said, we'd love to have you help us with this Instagram thing. So I started to just learn him, how to do all that. And I would see a hole here, I would try to fill it, because for me, my next best career option was working construction. I'm a licensed general contractor. My first job for Biltwell actually wasn't going to the swap meet. I lied. It was, they bought a building down the street, and I built all their offices.
Oh, okay.
I put in the offices in the bathrooms. So that was my first job, really. And then I started doing events for them, going on rides, going on cross-country trips, representing Biltwell. They just got to do more and more of that. And now, my card says good time coordinator.
I like that.
With my boss, Bill, we produce 4 or 5 events every year to promote our company. It's usually the same. It's always the same 4 or 5 events. We do a trade show type of deal in Del Mar in January. We do the Biltwell 100 race in Ridgecrest. Every other year we do the El Diablo run, which just happened, and we went down to San Felipe. We probably had close to 3,000 or more bikers from all over the world, mainland Mexico, United States, all join us down there for a weekend of debauchery. We do the People's Champ Light Show, which is coming up in a few weeks at Cook's Corner. It's the Friday before Warm Freeze. Okay. So we do that. And then we do our Kernville Camp Out, which is usually the first weekend of October up in Kernville. And it's just a camp out where everybody rides out, parties their face off, and hangs out, and then we send them home. So we do those same 4 or 5 events every year. I help Bill produce those. And then we have some riders and guys that help us out, girls. I kind of coordinate with them to make sure they're promoting us to best of their ability. And then we have some people who pay us to promote their brands. So I chase down some of those sponsorships, and I coordinate with the powers that be to get a little money to help us put on these parties.
Okay.
It's not a significant amount of money, but we're lucky to call, like, Russ Brown has been our sponsor for I must say maybe 6-7 years, so a long time.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the brands we work with, we worked with over and over. Thoroughgood Boots, S&S Cycle, Claiborne 301. So we have like a lot of the same sponsors, and we think because we offer good value, we do them right, we don't hop around. We've never worked with any other lawyers. I love and value the relationships we have with Sean, Wendy, Cruz. All of those guys have been, real good to us for a long time. We have good relationships where it's easy to call if there's a problem and just work it out.
Mm-hmm.
And it helps their brand get traction because it's not like, this brand this year, this other brand the next year.
Right.
Sooner or later, people just call foul on the guys and the girls.
No true relationship.
They're just in it for all those events we talked about, like, we're doing those with or without help from sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do them, It would be nice if we got some sponsorships to help us out with those, but we're doing them no matter what, and so we always try to do everybody right. If you just do the right thing repeatedly, somehow things work out, and that's kind of the mantra that I've learned from my boss, Bill, and we do it, and because of it, we've been fairly successful. We've been in business, 15, 16 years going on now, and our customer has kind of been the same. It's middle of the road guy and girl that love motorcycles. We don't say you gotta ride a Harley or you gotta ride a Honda we just say you gotta ride.
Yeah, right.
And we do these events typically that are they're not standing in the parking lot partying. It's, hey, meet us at a cool spot. We'll party for sure, but you gotta ride there.
Yeah.
You gotta ride
Make
there.
the most of it.
Yeah, make the most of it. And then, because you make people do that kind of stuff, they end up having all kinds of fun and adventures, and the people that end up showing up are people that you like to hang out with, that are pretty into it. I'm not, to each their own. Everybody can do whatever they want, but a lot of our people that are coming, they're not, some people are just in love with the idea of owning a motorcycle, and that's okay. They like to put it in their bedroom, like red room.
Yeah.
This one's been written a lot, so bad example. But you know what I mean? They like to stand on, talk about it, look at it.
Like an image base.
Yeah, and again, there's nothing wrong with that, but then there's some people that love riding motorcycles, and we tend to identify more with those guys that love to ride them. So we tell them, hey, these are, we're going to go down there. I promise you're going to have an adventure. Someone's going to get a flat tire, someone's going to break a chain, someone's going to get pulled over. But
There's a story.
There's going to be a story, dude.
Yeah.
That's the takeaway. At least one.
Yeah.
You'll be lucky if it's only one story. And we put people in those situations, and then they end up having a good time. And
It sounds like you're really invested. You're kind of that middleman that's bringing all of these people together that's on a similar, in fact, top rate level as you and the brand. So to pivot for a second to your personal hobby, you were saying earlier that you used to deal parts and sell parts. So you're a parts guy. You know how to build bikes, and you built choppers, and you built a FXR. So do you have any involvement in creating any of the moto accessories or parts for Biltwell?
let's back up real quick. I'm not a builder.
No.
I'm a general contractor. I have friends that help me, very talented friends.
And you didn't do any of your build?
I do some stuff.
I would say like you're a bit of a builder then.
Cross-threaded a couple of things. My favorite tool is a hammer.
Okay.
That's the one I operate the best because I'm a contractor.
Mm-hmm.
But I have talented friends like our mechanic Browser who's made a lot of my bikes. I'll pick out some parts and some paint and help procure those parts. And I can do some things, but really I'm not a builder. And also, what I am here at Biltwell is just a team member, just like the rest of us. Our strong point is we have a strong team. We have the same guys and girls working here. Usually, a lot of them here are double digits, just like me. I've been here a long time. I want to say the average time anyone who worked here, the people that you met today, you'll meet is 7 or 8 years, which is a long time in the motorcycle world.
Yeah,
it's like dog years.
Yeah.
So that's like 50 years. That's because we work at a good place. I think your only question about designing parts.
Yeah. So do you have any involvement in designing
Absolutely.
any of the parts or even the accessories?
Absolutely. We have. I think currently working in our building there's maybe 15 people. Not everybody rides motorcycles. It's not that's not a necessity. Everybody here needs to work hard, and that is a necessity. And everybody that works here does work hard. But not everybody here loves motorcycles. There's a few of us, the core guys, that absolutely love motorcycles and definitely steer, the design team, hey, this is what we would like to make, so we come to those guys, Magoo and Westy are the names, come to them with an idea, and, they say, okay, let's reverse engineer it, figure out how we can get there, so. I think it's important for any company, if your job is to make lawnmowers, you better have mowed a couple of lawns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If your job is to make motorcycle parts, like, how can I tell you, Olivia, hey, this is a great helmet if I don't wear that helmet? I've never wore a helmet. I don't even know the first thing about helmets. You know what I mean? Like, it would be inauthentic, and someone will pull our card sooner or later,
True, yeah, just staying authentic. And I think that's what makes this brand so unique. It truly is. You're being authentic and you're catering to people who are true motorheads and love what they do. And you said that, you touched on that briefly. So outside of that, what is another trait about this company that makes it unique?
Hard work, a couple of people that are passionate about the subject, again, people that are in the right time of their life where they know what their other options are working careers, a lot of us are here because we like coming to work, Nobody here, for the most part, none of us are watching the clock every day. We're proud of our accomplishments. We're proud of the events we put on, the products we turned out, all the friends that we made all over the world because of those things. You saw our wall of shame when you came in, and, the silly events we've done and the rides we've taken and good times we've had. And the fun we've helped people out. I've learned that for a lot of people, fun doesn't come naturally. They need a little help.
Yeah, that's true.
We're here to help.
Yeah. The substance, device.
Yeah. Some of us have records with the state of California because we have too much fun. So we like having fun, helping people have fun, and the way we do that's with our products. Our products are our events. I think that's what sets us apart. Won't name names, but when was the last time you rode a motorcycle with somebody from some other helmet brand? They probably do it. I don't really know. Or
you're setting the standards that way, setting yourself apart, especially because it's such a competitive industry, especially for helmets and parts. I mean, it up for all of it, really.
Yeah, and we do it because we love it. It in turn ends up being good marketing. You make genuine relationships. People have a lot of choices if you open up a catalog or you get online, and you're gonna look for something, a helmet or something, and you have a lot of choices, but a lot of widgets, but what might be the deciding factor is, oh man, I went on the Biltwell little Diablo run. Those guys have a good time. I like those guys. Right? They're a fun bunch, and I hung out with Bill, and he helped me fix my bike, or Josh up the front, I had a pair of torn gloves and he replaced them, we get my bike started, or something silly like that, we help make those build those relationships and those people. You can't be out there protecting your brand or flying your flag all of the time, But those people can't, and a lot of those people are, because we make them ride through the desert 100 miles on their dirt bike, or go down to El Diablo run, or do a cold spaghettios eat competition at Kernville, because we put them to the paces, they have a good time, and they're out, when someone's talking trash on us, they're defending us, and I tell people, these guys make good stuff, they have a good time, they're not faceless, nameless, suits.
Right, and it's all authentic. Like we keep saying, going back to, which is really, really great. So you touched on the 4 main events that you guys usually put on.
Yeah.
So are there going to be any new events that are coming up that you want to start, or is there any projects or collaborations that are in the works right now?
For events, I think we probably don't have time to do any more. We'll do 4 or 5 this year's 5 because we go to Baja every other year, El Diablo run. So this year's 5. We'll go to 5 of our own events. We'll probably go to 5 of some friends' events, like Born Free. We're going to go to a couple of Rubzilla events this year, some ADV ones. Which we're a small team, and nobody here wears one hat. Everybody here wears several hats. And so we're probably at our limit for other people's events that we can attend or starting our own events. But we have a pretty good schedule to with that. I don't think it's rogue, so we're probably not going to mess with it. The next question.
Oh, it was products, any new helmets or parts that you're bringing out that's
We have some new
helmet.
helmets in the works.
Okay.
We have right now that will be out. We'll probably be debuting it in a couple weeks. At Born Free is our Gringo SD. It's called.
Okay.
And it's a modified Gringo. It's a new Gringo with some dents on it.
Cool.
And then we have a couple other helmets that are just close, but I don't want to really talk about them quite
Okay.
yet. But
In due time.
we have some new stuff coming out.
Cool.
That we've been working on for a minute. COVID slowed down some of those design processes, unfortunately, and that's a bummer, but I think nobody escaped COVID. Battlestar, that was kind of our biggest one, is just slowed down international travel. For us, that was a bummer, but yeah, we also have some really cool new writing apparel coming out.
Nice.
Well,
Okay. So
those things are exciting.
okay, so speaking of the apparel, the helmets, and all of that, there's such a distinct aesthetic with Biltwell, especially with the helmets. So how would you describe the design philosophy on it?
I think we call it timeless. Less is more. We don't put stuff. At this point, we have plenty of manufacturing allies. We have a couple bucks in the bank. We can make kind of anything.
That's cool.
That's good, But I think it's like building a motorcycle. It's what makes a motorcycle special or good. I think is knowing when to stop.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like some brands don't know when to stop. And I think if you don't buy a motorcycle, there's a challenge. And you don't. What's the zipper for? I don't know. We just put a zipper.
True. Functionality and time.
Yeah. We try to do that. And certain things, you might look back and you can't tell, is that maybe 20 years ago? Is that maybe 5 years ago? To me, that's like a well-designed thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the aesthetic I like. Look at you, the Doc Martens on.
Yeah, I ride with these all the time too.
They haven't changed much.
No, they haven't.
They're really good.
Yeah,
really
and they're
cool.
comfy.
They're really comfy.
Uh-huh.
Probably they're not going to make any crazy they have a lot of crazy Doc Martens. But you know what I'm saying? Black boots are never going to go out of style.
Yeah.
And that's the point.
Yeah, true.
Simple black boots. And
Classic.
that's always going to be, your grandpa wore something similar.
Yeah.
Probably your kids will wear something
Yeah.
similar. If you have kids, if you go that route. So we're trying to do that kind of stuff. Like, is this going to be corny in 5 years? If not, why are we going to make it? Is it something that we would wear? At this point again, we can make some far out helmets.
Mm-hmm.
We don't wear them. Why would we make something? How am I going to tell you this is what you should wear?
Mm-hmm.
I don't wear it. I wouldn't wear it. I think it's corny, but you should.
Yeah, fair enough.
So we're probably not going to do that kind of stuff. And so far that has worked, and it's not. The stuff. These are conclusions that my bosses came 2 years ago. When they started this thing, they were pretty regimented and laid out in black and white what they wanted this thing to be. And the plan. They're formulating this plan as my boss Bill was overseas fighting the war, and again was here running the day-to-day for their marketing advertising agency. So they were committed, to doing it the way they saw it would be timeless and last. So far, again, 15 years old brand, motorcycle industry. That's middle-aged, part for sure. It's not the oldest. There's, you look at like Arlen Nest, started in the 70s. That's an old brand. There's not a lot of the Arlen Nests though. There's not a lot of middle-aged ones either. They're good. I would say the typical lifespan for a motorcycle brand is 5 years or less.
So that actually leads to another question that I have in here: is what's the secret to making a company last, especially a brand like this that is so distinctive and has their own, their look and aesthetic. So would the secret just be timeless and classic?
The secret is like how you make a relationship last with your significant other. It's communication. Sure. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, that's not us. We sit down and we'll lay out a bunch of stuff that we might want to make, and talk about it, and put it on, and maybe go ride in it, and then come back and say, I don't, that's not it's not a fuck yes. Someday it's a fuck no,
Okay.
So we try to do that. That's kind of the formula, and so far it's worked. And man, through the years, our tastes have evolved in motorcycles a lot. That's a lot of us have modern bikes now. And my wife has a 2023. We have some newer dirt bikes and newer ADV bikes, 2022s, 2020s. We're riding a lot more dirt, and so we're making stuff. We're making stuff that we would wear and that we would rock. And I think our customers evolved a lot too. They got newer motorcycles and stuff with this company. We still have choppers, and we love choppers, and that's been our that's helped to put us on the map. I just rode my chopper back from San Felipe, and but we have a bunch of other motorcycles. Riding motorcycles, I think, lets us. We have enough success now to feel confident when I say, I like this jacket. This thing's cool. Just roll, I'm confident. I'm not like, oh no, we're on a new helmet or something. We work hard to make a helmet that we wear, and then we say, there's probably a customer for this because we're that guy.
Yeah. Sure.
And so we're pretty happy with how we got to this point, doing that kind of poncho, which is little stuff that we would use and we would wear. And if so, probably some other people are into it.
Yeah, that's very true. And I think the elements that I'm really picking up from our conversation about this brand is stay authentic, be passionate about what you're doing, and just keep it timeless and classic. And I think that's the secret, people, if you want a great brand.
Yeah,
and
hard work. The hard work is that's the secret nobody likes.
Yeah, that's true.
Get up early, stay up late, and work in the middle. That's still the magic. That's still the algorithm. That's still the secret hashtag. That's still the secret website code. That's still is work in the middle. Just work. And if you're passionate about the things, it's a little bit harder to work. It's a little bit easier to work.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna say hard to work. Holy crap.
No, it's easier. If you like something, you do a lot less of this.
Mm-hmm.
If you like your job, you're not looking at the clock. You're doing your job and you're enjoying it. And we've been lucky to gather a couple guys that are passionate about the motorcycling.
Yeah.
We just got a new guy, David. He came from Icon Motorsports. They also made helmets. He came down here from Portland. He's out right now riding in Dallas and Petros, Louisiana. He's riding all around. He loves riding motorcycles.
Nice.
He loves riding motorcycles. I rode motorcycles 2 days this week already. I hope to ride them 2 more days. We love these things. We need sleep and breathe them. And because of that, we've been successful making products for other people that like to ride motorcycles.
And I think that's very true because you have a very large customer base and it's still going, like you said, longer than most brands. So share with me a memorable story you've had with a customer or at a show you guys were at or anywhere, anytime, that highlights the impact the brand has had on them. Do you have any personal stories?
I know a lot.
What's the first one that pops out?
This one is a story about a customer. It's a brand contacted us outside of the motorcycle industry, and they said, we want to come and visit your design team and your social media team. And so they showed up. They were at an audio company that everyone has heard of, and I don't need to mention them, but they're big, well-to-do, well-known, been around 4 times longer than we have. They showed up in their Audi Quattro A8, whatever the heck it is, fancy car from somewhere on the coast, I'm not judging you. No.
I'm Canadian, there's no judgment.
Yeah, okay. I love it. They showed up and they came to the front door and they said, hey, we're so-and-so. We're here to meet your social media team. And I said, hold on, let me get them. And I said, I'm Otto, and I'm kind of the social media team with Bill.
Okay.
And then they said, ooh, okay. So where did you go to school? I said, well, actually, I got kicked out of school. I didn't really go to school,
Being a smart
Oh, no, this is the truth. This is just the truth. I said, yeah, I didn't really go to school. Bill went to community college. We don't have any Harvard plaques here. We have more DUIs than we have MBAs here. Okay, we have a lot more DUIs than we have MBAs. We have 0 MBAs. But my takeaway to them was, man, we just like what we're doing, and we bootstrapped ourselves, and we learned a lot of this stuff. And Bill went to school for design, and he's got the eye that he was born with, but he's has honed it with hard work. Magoo, that does our R&D. He grew up riding bicycles, and then worked in the bicycle industry for a long time. He's widely considered the godfather of BMX, one of them. And so it wasn't hard for them to say, for Magoo to say, we're going to do motorcycle stuff, and Bill's going to give it the feel, and the feel from this brand comes from Bill, he's got the aesthetic, and him growing up in Southern California predominantly, surfing, skateboard, ride motocross, has given us that, helped him hone, our little feel. So again, some big brand came to us and they wanted to know the secret, and the secret was what we already touched on, which is just, hey, we like what we do, we're going to work hard at it, and we're going to make it not suck.
Yeah, that's
You know,
right.
those
And I'm
guys
sure
are not
that's
stoked on that. They
probably
want-
because they want to make money. There's no real passion, I'm sure. And
They wanted the algorithm, man. And
Yeah.
there is no algorithm. It's not to work hard, you know. That's how you beat the algorithm every single time. You know, they didn't want to hear that. So I don't know
That's
that.
interesting.
No, looking for some customer.
No,
interaction.
I mean, that's a really, I feel like that just proves to you that you really are doing what you should be doing it. That you're doing a great job and you love what you do. So I think that's a really great story just to keep going and keep putting in the hard work, put out that algorithm, and people are going to come to you and ask, well, it's kind of like The Alchemist. Did you ever read that book?
I don't know if I did.
Where he does this whole journey across to Egypt because I think a prophet or something or a dream told him what he had to do to find the gold, and he didn't find it. So it's like, fuck, okay. So then he's all upset, but then he finally finds the gold because he made the hard work going back and being a shepherd. So it's kind of like that. You're putting in that hard work. You finally get there after all the hard work, essentially. I mean, I just butchered the whole story, but along the same lines as that.
Yeah, that sounds close to what we're trying to do. You know, sometimes it feels like it's a lot of hard work for nothing. You know, but often we'll go to an event, or I'll be sitting in my office, or someone else will be sitting, and I'll hear someone come to the showroom, and I'll hear an accent that's from out of town.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we'll go out. It just happened a couple weeks ago. There's a guy here. I think I was Forster. He rode here from Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
He just wanted to stop by the showroom. You know,
Mm-hmm.
You're from out of town, and now you know how far away everything is in California. You know, like
Just because of the traffic.
yeah, just kind of traffic. But a lot of times these guys they'll fly. They'll be staying in LA, and they're from another country, and they'll come out here, and it's like when I hear that, it's like I need to get up, go offer them a cup of coffee, bathroom, take bathroom. You know, one time somebody left us a nice Yelp review, and they said we had the cleanest bathrooms of any motorcycle place. We're very proud of that Yelp review. If that was you, thank you so much. But we did take time because these guys took time to seek us out. And again, we're kind of in the Oklahoma of Southern California. We're not close, you know, with the traffic. You add in the traffic, it's going to take you 2 or 3 hours to get home, maybe. I hope not, but it might. You know, we're still flattered that people do that, you know, or that they'll come to the El Diablo and San Felipe from Mexico City. You know, these guys rode 1,000 miles down mainland Mexico, took a ferry, and then rode, 800 miles up, and then they ride out on the way back, and all to hang out with some dude that we don't speak the same language as them.
Hola.
But
You
we
have a
do.
gringo helmet. That's how you can
But we do speak the same way because we speak the.
That's true.
Do you like motorcycles? Yeah, let's do that.
Mhm.
That's the same. We put on your helmet, and I don't know what color you are. I don't really know what language you speak. I don't know where you're from, but I see you're riding a motorcycle. That's kind of. Those are our people here. We love all the adventures, all the places motorcycles have taken us, but most importantly, we love all the friends we've made from all over the world because of motorcycles.
It connects us all. And if you
Corny as it sounds, it connects us all.
I know.
It is corny, but that's
It's
our
so
community.
true. It's so true. And you guys do all these events, and we've touched on it before. So, and you've ridden a lot. So, have you ever gone to a motorcycle accident? And if so, what did you learn? This is Russ Brown. We always ask this question.
Yeah, I've been in a few, but I was in one really good one about 10 years ago. I started working here. We were on a photo shoot, and there was a bad section of road right down the street, and we're going so slow, not doing anything wrong, not being an idiot, and it was bad road, and I face planted. I broke my face. This eye socket's broke. This one's broke my nose, knocked my palate off my skull.
Ouch.
So I was ugly before and I'm uglier after, but I did 3 days in the hospital and then a monthly kind of just sitting around at drive in, and I ride dirt bikes too, so basically every time I ride a dirt bike, I'm that good at it. So I've been in a bunch. Yeah.
And what did you learn from all of it? Have a Biltwell house on?
I had Biltwell on and my hand was fine, I didn't have gloves on. It was a hot day. I had a t-shirt on. It was a hot day.
Get that glove on. Get that. No glove, no love.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they say all the gear all the time.
Yeah.
It was a hot day.
I know.
Sometimes you don't want to put on a jacket. You know what's hotter than a hot day is sliding down the street on the asphalt, which is what happened to me. Then having the paramedics come, cut off all your clothes, leave you in your underwear in the street. Also very, very hot. Have all your road rash hot for 30 days after that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you're not going to always wear all your gear. You know what I mean? It just, you're not, but,
You just hope you
sometimes
are.
you pay.
Yeah, sometimes you pay.
Sometimes you pay, so I guess I learned that, wear all your stuff as much as possible.
Mm-hmm. So for my last question, what role do you see this company playing in the future of the motorcycle industry, specifically with trends and innovations?
Man, we're probably the wrong guys to ask about trends and innovation. I don't know that we said
It's
trends.
kind of, I mean, you have big brands coming to you asking what you're doing. You must be doing
Why
something.
don't we tell them, if you have to ask that question, you're probably fucked. That's kind of what I told those guys. If you're looking
You're
for
being
guidance,
too humble.
if you're looking for guidance from us, then you're gonna have issues. Someone's gotta be steering the ship that cares about where you're going, and then you need some guys up front rowing, that are into rowing. We're gonna continue to do what we've always done, which is we encourage people to ride motorcycles and have fun.
Okay.
We want to make the products that allow them to do that. Get out, go on an adventure, get off your couch, get off Instagram, get off your damn phone, and go have some fun. People, we're not the first to do this. We didn't start motorcycle expeditions ever since there was a motorcycle. People have been going all over. Men, women, the women riding thing, that's nothing new. Since there was a motorcycle, women have ridden motorcycles. I guarantee you, the first day that there was a guy riding one, there was a woman riding one too, without a doubt. So quit pretending like you guys started that kind of stuff, or that you're the first guy to ride to Baja, you're the first guy to ride to Alaska, we just went to Alaska. We're not the first. The guys have been doing it forever. Without iPhones, without maps, without weather reports, people have been doing it forever, So just go on and have some adventure, What's good about a motorcycle is that, man, you can't bring too much stuff usually, and you're kind of limited to what you can bring. And also what's good about it is the people that are down to get on a bike with you or next to you, they end up being funner people. They're a little more adventurous, they're into experiencing life. You were talking about The Alchemist, I think the point of that book was, it's the journey, man.
Yeah, it's a journey.
It's a search, it's
Keep
like,
going until you find it.
keep going, and you never really find it. You better hope you don't find it, and then it's over, so it's just getting out there and always looking and just today I was on one of the adventure bike websites, and I love looking at pictures of other people's trips and reading what they said, and that little escape that it provides you when you're sitting in a cubicle, it makes you want to say, you know what, in 2 weeks from now, I have nothing to do on the weekend, I'm gonna start thinking about packing my bags. For me, I always say, like, a lot of times the best part of the trip is packing for the trip and coming home and talking about the trip. Sometimes the trip sucks. We just went to Alaska, it was like 30 days of rain and mud, and it was really hard, and you got egos and broken down everything, and it was tough. But you know what? I'll always talk about the Alaska trip, and I enjoyed getting ready for the Alaska trip. The same thing, we raced a Sportster in Baja 5 years ago, and the prep before was fun, and talking about it afterward is great. The actual trip was miserable and very stressful, and man, there was a lot of button heads and late nights working on stuff and late nights not sleeping because you're worried about disappointing your teammates, So doing it was actually really hard. But man, now talking about it, and asking people, have you ever ridden a Harley in the dirt in Mexico? Oh yeah, I have. Let me tell you about it.
Yeah, true.
That part's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
teach other
awesome.
people, and I mean, it just builds your character, your strength, your mental capacity.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great.
You go on a ride and things go perfect, that's not the ride you're talking about. You go on a ride and it rains the whole time and your bike exploded the first 20 miles, or you crashed, or you met somebody cool, and they helped you fix your bike. Like, those are the trips you end up talking about and that you really, really remember. The time you rode to Starbucks, probably the bike didn't get hot. It's probably not that great.
Well, thank you so much for sitting with me today and chatting. It's been really great learning about this company, and I see just so much passion and authenticity, which I think is so rare these days. And seeing that in a brand, it's great to see. And thank you for your time today. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming out. We're motorcycle nerds, and we have a good team, and we have good leaders, and again, we enjoy what we do, so it makes what we do with most days pretty easy.
That's good.
Thank you, Russ Brown, for supporting us on all of our silly endeavors and adventures. Because we definitely, it's been helpful. It's been a good relationship with you guys. Please let Wendy and Chuck and everybody else know we appreciate it.
Will do. Thank you so much.